best Nickelodeon dads. We go to number 5, which is Jack Fenton from Danny Phantom. Now, this personalizes like the kind of slapstick character a whole bunch, and it wasn't for the dad, it was for the mom too. But Jack was hilarious for the show. He'd be like, look at this invention. Look at it. I got all those kind of things that catch ghosts. It's funny, man. And just his slapstick made Danny Phantom even more watchable than it originally was.
Yeah, it's super funny because if you walk through, I believe it was supposed to be Timmy Turner is the universe that can go into Danny Phantom. Is that correct? Yeah, like the
Yeah, I
the
think
the
so.
the
Yeah.
weird theory. But anyways, like Jack's character is a very comical dad, but he also at times is a bit. And there's 100. I said 200, Denny. That's 100 bits. He's one of the more understanding dads here because he's hunting ghosts and stuff like that. So it's very, very, very funny guy.
Yeah, and the fact that his son was able to slip by for how long, as a ghost, just made it even more that he was clueless and funny to be along. Yeah, man. He's just funny, man. I love it. We move on
Super
to
thick wife too.
Oh yeah, that is very true.
All cartoon moms are thick.
All of them. We move on
Seems that
to
way.
number Thor, which is from the Wild Thornberries, Nigel
Okay.
Thornberry, smashing.
Vote.
Th-
Did you love the show as much as I did?
I enjoyed this one.
I
He
loved this
he
show.
might be higher on my list, honestly.
Oh,
Oh,
the top
Because
three are
just
pretty
look at
good.
that mustache.
He was the. I would say he out of all of them, he was probably. Well, no, there's another one that I would say is pretty understanding, but he was the one that like was the coolest. I would say. Like
Oh yeah.
the lifestyle, the ability to love animals. Yeah, was he quirky? But it was very understanding of what his family was there for, and the only one that
Mm.
sucked was Debbie or whatever.
yeah.
So I love Nigel.
Yeah, man. Like I said, the quirkiness with him and the ability to do what he wants without anybody really caring was awesome because, a lot of people wouldn't, take that job to, care and look after animals and everything with, everything going on for what it was. I also enjoyed all the smashing memes that came from, this. They had one where I think like they had a
Smashing.
guy. Yeah, they had I think it was from one of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games. They had the guy like fall off his board and like hit his knee, and then it turned into Nigel's face and it was like smashing.
That's
just,
crazy.
it's awful, really. But I mean, it was pretty funny for what it was,
Votesh, Denny writes in, and this is something I want to talk with you about because it's about Austin. Is that Austin's portrait in the next 20 years once he finally grows a mustache?
Yeah. Danny might be on to something there.
I mean, in 20
Let's
years,
see.
that might be your mustache, Austin.
If I don't shave for 20 years,
Yeah, that's what it is. If you don't shave for 20 years,
I don't
that's
know.
what it's gonna look like.
I don't know if my girlfriend would very much appreciate it. But, we could only try. But yeah, man, Nigel Thornberry does what he does, and you can kind of say that about our number 3. This is Stu Pickles from Rugrats.
What an underdog story! Like, what a true underdog of dads.
Just look at him. He's so happy.
He just wants
in
to
that
invent
picture.
a freaking toy, man.
Yep.
Just let the man invent a toy.
It wasn't until recent that I noticed not Rugrats Go to Paris, but the other one where his brother Dill is born. It came from Netflix, and I used to have it on VHS, so I watched it again. And man, like it felt like a really good story. Like watching it as an adult, right? Like you're like shit. Like he probably doesn't like they're probably behind like 2 mortgages, and he's just trying to like make this toy to like finally get famous and like have all the money and everything to support his kids.
He doesn't give up.
Yeah, man. I mean, he is the Rocky Balboa of Nickelodeon dads. Like you could say that.
Elsa says that Grandpa is better than Stu, and Grandpa's only better than Stu because he admitted to his kids that he was going to watch an alien porno, and we just sat there like that was, I mean, grand. But the thing I like most about Stu like in all seriousness, is the fact that he made the Reptar mobile.
Yep.
Or the Reptar Wagon. Reptar Wagon, I believe, was the name of it. But that thing was just dope.
Yep. Which I felt it was also poetic to put him in after we screwed up the Reptar dinosaur rankings. So you could put that in there as a apology from me on that one. I also enjoyed when he went looking. He made that like pterodactyl machine.
Oh yeah.
And then first of all, how did he survive that fall? Like going into the house alone? Like, I mean,
he comes out with it on, like walking.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, in real thing, that dude should have been dead. But you know what? Stu Pickles is an Iron Man, and he'll go toe to toe with anything. If that means a goddamn building, it's a goddamn building. But yeah, he came out looking like what they call him, a wizard. Yeah, they called him a wizard, and the whole time he's just like, probably because of the how many broken bones, concussions that he probably had.
I think Stu Pickles making the pudding at 3 a.m. is all of us in our adult life, because I've lost control of my life. That's just great.
That was almost the picture that I put in here, but I couldn't find a good enough one to put in here. So. But yes, why are you making chocolate pudding at 3 and 4 in the morning? Like, I don't have anything.
Austin, I don't know. Did you hear me echo a million times, Austin?
I heard that.
Something glitched out. I asked the chat to see if they did. It was basically, I forget what I was saying, but it echoed. So I just want to read this real quick. Denny writes in, great sound effect, Deke. I wish Josh would do cool stuff like that when he's on the board. I love the chat that this show gets.
I can't even match that.
All right, Oz. Who's?
Yeah, man.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. We'll move on to number 2.
Beautiful.
Probably the most clueless dad out of all of these. Number 2 is Mr. Turner from the Fairly Odd Parents.
I mean, this is where I'd put my trophy if I had one. It's just so fucking good.
Goldberg. Like just all those scenes, especially when I never realized until I went back and watched it, the episode where they try to like grow something. I think that's what it was. And his wife was like complaining that everything she touched died. So that he was like calling Dinkelberg over to touch his wife's hand. I was like, that's why she hated him that much to want to try to kill him.
There's so many good moments with Mr. Turner. Like it's one of the funniest things, because you look at his and just how clueless and like, all right, Timmy, we'll leave it here with the babysitter, and just runs away. But Mr. Turner, at his core, is the reason I think he's one of the funniest ever is because he literally is a pencil pusher. Like, his job is to push pencils. That was one of the best things that's ever happened to comedy.
That'd be a great job too.
I mean, you wouldn't have to do much depending on how you get paid. So
you do different techniques though, like try and switch it up.
I don't know. I mean, you'd have to ask him.
You'd have to.
Yeah. I think one of my funniest memories of Mr. Turner was this scene where he's driving. He goes, Mr. Turner? Yes, who is it? It's Mr. Turner. I'm driving with my fate. Like,
I like when when Timmy becomes his car to spend time with him.
Yeah.
That's just so good. Like, everything about that. I will say, though, and I put this in my tweet, not the best character on the show.
No. It's definitely not.
Who do you guys think is the best character on the show?
I mean, it's got to be Cosmo.
Vo?
I mean.
Yeah, Cosmo.
Okay, you're both idiots, because it's Doug Dimmadome under the Dimsdale Dimmadome. And I will die on that hill that he is the greatest character in that show's history.
Well, you finally helped me find my long-lost son, Timmy Turner, Dimsdale, Dimmadome, Dimmadome.
That was actually really good as well.
There's the impressions.
When Austin becomes famous, I'm going to cry, because there goes our
He's
Tuesday
an impression
show.
king.
Yeah, in about a month, the Tuesday night slot's going to be open, because Austin's going to do voiceover acting. So let me know if you want a show, guys.
Always remember you guys if that ever happens.
Send me flowers.
But yeah, man. I mean, there's so many. That shows you that he was such a great character and not even the best character. That this show was awesome. I mean, this is every child's dream to have like the ability to have, you know, not every wish they want, but like certain like, sort of guardians that will give him wishes if he asks for them. Man, it's awesome. But it doesn't crack number one, boys, because number one, the all-time best Nickelodeon dad, and I will die by this statement, the OG himself, the lover of ducks and pie. This is Hugh motherfucking Neutron from Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius.
He is here's something that a lot of people don't notice. He is so good at selling cars that they had to move because he sold a car to everyone in town.
Yep.
Everyone in town bought a car off him, so they had to move. That's how good this guy was at his job. I mean, underrated
that's
dad.
pretty
Sarah
good,
Mo
yeah.
writes in here for the pick. I mean, that's the number one dad. He did everything for his family.
Yeah, I mean, he is literally the best.
A Jimbo. That's great.
Oh, Jimbo, you remember that one time that it's just.
There is one 43-year-old who's really disgruntled in the chat, Elsas77, who says Raymondo being left off is insane.
I agree with Elsas on
Yeah,
that.
I'll say that I would take Raymondo over Jack Fenton, but he's a fucking irresponsible father.
Yeah.
Like, if we're going to talk about Mr. Turner, Raymundo let them literally do whatever they want so that he could just hang out at his restaurant.
So that's why he's a good dad. He just let them do whatever they wanted. It depends which way you look at it.
Chip beat me with a belt every night before bed, and I turned out great. I think.
But yeah, man, there's so many great scenes with Hugh Neutron.
Of course.
One that I'm thinking of where he got stuck in the garden hose, which I don't know how that ever happened, but Sheen and Carl came around. He's like, well, I don't really know how I got stuck in this, but it's just like
so.
Or when his epic duck collection, his love for pie and Donut Boy, that's me. Like
the pie thing, the pie and ducks were so funny. Like, it was just so weirdly dad. Yeah. I loved it.
They're like things that you wouldn't expect like a grown man to cherish, but as a dad, you have to hold on to the things that, the odd things that sort of make you happy.
I bet you he would like the Anaheim Ducks.
Bet you would.
That's true. He probably bought one of the retro jerseys.
Quack quack.
He loved them as much as his purple flurp. I almost said purple float. Purple flurp.
I formally, let me do a quick check. Yeah, all of them had thick wives. Just throwing that out there. All of them had thick wives.